Breaking news, Ukrainian officials are reporting a wave of Russian attacks on Kyiv lasting more than 5 hours. They say Russia launched 430 drones and 18 missiles at the capital, killing at least 6 people and injuring dozens more. President Zelensky is condemning the attacks on social media, calling them wicked and deliberately calculated. Now Ukraine's launching long-range Neptune missiles into Russia. ABC News chief foreign correspondent Ian Pannell's in London with the latest on that. Ian, what do we know so far about these attacks?
Yeah, I mean, this was a pretty devastating attack. I mean, of course, these attacks go on night after night. Hundreds of drones are sent over by Russia and often some missiles, but every now and again they increase almost weekly. There tends to be an attack that is significantly larger. This one has certainly been the largest attack for many weeks. Residents were woken up shortly after midnight by the sound of air defences, by the sound of missiles landing in the capital, Kyiv. There were over 400 drones, as you said. There were close to 20 missiles. More than 10 of them were ballistic missiles. These are particularly devastating with a high explosive impact on the ground. Now, residents have become used to going down underground into basements or into the subway system to try and shelter from these attacks. The attacks lasted for hours and hours, and the mayor of Kyiv is now saying possibly as many as 6 people, at least 6 people have been killed, and many more have been wounded. And it wasn't just in the capital, Kyiv. There are also attacks elsewhere in the country.
Ian, on X, President Zelensky is thanking everyone for working on Ukraine's missile program. Where does Ukraine stand right now in its ability to defend itself or make advances against Russia?
I mean, it relies heavily on the American Patriot system. It gets other defense systems from other countries. The reality is there is a limit to how well they can protect themselves from this level of bombardment on a nightly basis. I mean, for example, the American Patriot system is incredibly expensive to operate, and trying to intercept a ballistic missile is a very difficult thing to do. I mean, I was in Israel during the Iranian attacks, and some of those ballistic missiles managed to get through Israeli air defenses. Now, that was with the assistance of the US, and that was with a much more advanced air defense system. And of course, Ukraine is a far bigger country, and they get far less notice. Whereas missiles fired, for example, from Iran to Israel, you get a lot of notice, or at least enough notice, to try and position yourself to intercept. But certainly when some of those launches come from Russia, there is very little time to respond. And for residents inside Kyiv and elsewhere in the country, it's hard to underestimate how difficult life has become. They're living with power outages, a shortage of heating, winter temperatures setting in, nightly drone attacks, nightly missile attacks, and families, young children, every single night are having to go underground to try and sleep through the bombardment, which of course is incredibly difficult. There doesn't seem to be any slowing down. If anything, the opposite. President Trump's peace plan doesn't seem to have gone anywhere. And for now, Russia really continues to attack Ukraine unimpeded. Yes, Ukraine can launch counterattacks onto specifically military targets inside Russia. Sometimes there are civilian deaths, but it hasn't directly hit civilian targets in a way that Russia seems to hit not just civilian targets inside Ukraine, but also the energy infrastructure, which is already kind of gasping for air to try and keep itself going as winter sets in.
ABC News chief foreign correspondent Ian Pannell, thank you.